What if Joel Schumacher never made Batman Forever? Now obviously that is a hypothetical statement, but just imagine what it would have been like if Tim Burton continued on his Batman movies after Batman Returns. Like, if Returns hadn't scared kids, this would have happened. Now personally, I genuinely like Batman Forever, but the majority of fans nowadays don't. So, let's take a look at the Flashpoint Paradox using all the information we have at our disposal and see what Tim Burton's Batman 3 would have looked like and why it never came to be. First off with the name, it was allegedly titled Batman Continues, and this makes sense given the previous movie The Dark Knight Returned, so Batman Returns would have been a bit silly. Now, it's still as silly as Batman Forever, but Continues does have a continuation vibe to it, which would make sense given the world Tim Burton was building. Even Burton stated that the name Batman Forever sounded like a bad tattoo. Yikes. Now, Tim is a guy who can make movies. His first Bat film in 1989 was a major hit and Returns up the ante with more villains and a darker tone. Continues would have followed this with more villains in The Riddler, played by Robin Williams, Scarecrow, played by Brad Dourif, and Two-Face, played by Billy D. Williams, picking up his role as Harvey Dent from the first film. Now can you imagine that? That cast would have been awesome! Williams was also set to play the Joker in the first film, but was dropped to Nicholson in a secret deal, so after Continues fell through, Williams was pretty angry, and rightfully so, as stated in Empire magazine in 2010. And on top of that, there would be flashbacks of Batman's origins, like in Batman Begins, and even adding a new suit with a movable cowl, way before The Dark Knight introduced it. And yes, Robin was still planned to be in it, played by Marlon Wayans of all people. Hell, he still gets residual checks for it. What a steal! So why didn't all this happen? As I mentioned earlier, Batman Returns scared kids and parents were furious. It was hard to sell toys for such grotesque figures. I mean, look at the Penguin toy. Nothing like him. I mean, it could be worse.
My nose could be gushing blood.
Even McDonald's were ticked off, and with merchandising being huge in these types of blockbusters, Warner Bros. Only had their eyes set on toyetics. With everyone like Burton and Keaton leaving the project, Joel Schumacher picked up the helm for his own vision, and Burton's Batman 3, Batman Continues, continued no more. And while I like Batman Forever and eventually led to Christopher Nolan's trilogy, one can't help but wonder what would have been had Burton's idea manifest into something physical. With interviews and screenwriters and actors, we now have an idea of a movie where Michael Keaton fights a deranged Robin Williams with a question mark shaved onto his head. Yeah, that was supposed to happen too. I can only imagine a world where this came out and changed the direction of superhero movies from the Dark Age into a literal Dark Age. But, I guess, we'll never know.